Hey there, everybody. So let's see if I can do this before my phone overheats or I run out of time. What I have here is a 150 by 50 millimeter Hanyaki Petty. I thought I would use it since it's got a really short blade to do a little bit of a demonstration on how I sharpen these knives from, well, no edge. This is as polished. I mean, it's absolutely sharp enough to cut as far as that goes, but there's no actual finished edge on this knife. And the customer who purchases, his name's Adam, actually asked me, since he also bought one of my water stones, to do a demonstration on how I use them. So we're gonna go through real quick. In Normally I would use one of my stones, just one. I can go through and do the whole process, but in the interest of getting this done in the time I have allotted for it, I'm going to go ahead and use a best in 500, and this will cut in the bevel. This takes a little bit more time in the finishing because I have to get rid of these scratches. I like to just use my stone and apply more pressure because the end result is smoother, I guess you'd say. But anyhow, I'll start here. This is the position I hold the blade in. I don't know if you can tell at this angle, but my thumb is what guides the edge angle, and I'll do a draw stroke, and I'll go 2, 3, 4, 5, and I'm putting a fair amount of pressure. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And now you can see there's a bevel started on this side. Okay. And I can actually just barely feel a burr on the other side. So now I'll go through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now there is a very, very solid burr on this already right now. It looks like I need to do the tip just a little bit more. So I'll go lightly on the back and then add pressure at the tip. 2, 3, 4, 5, and the same thing over here. 1, 2, 3, 4. You can hear the difference in the sound. 5. Okay, we're definitely done with this stone cutting. Oh, and if you like, these things are so easy to make. You can do it with a handsaw in 10 minutes tops. It took me about 45 seconds to make this sink bridge with a table saw. But so yeah, now we definitely have bevel and a burr as far as that goes. So now I'll go to the 1200 real quick. This is a king stone to get rid of one, 2, 3, 4. And this is just to kind of get rid of the burr on the other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't do the scrubbing motion that a lot of guys do for their sharpening. I find with my knives the edge is thin enough that I don't have to. Just draw strokes will work as far as that goes. This is hard to do in a video because I tend to forget where I was, but as I'm explaining things. But with the edge being that thin, it's not mandatory at all. And this is another point. As I this 1200 stone, what I'll do is I'll do a draw and then a push. What I find is that this does two things. A, it gets rid of the burr super quickly. And B, it actually changes the structure of the edge. The angle of the micro serrations from the stone is different because of the angle at which it's being abraded. So it leaves an X shape on the edge rather than a bunch of parallel lines with the the teeth going just this way. What I found is in cutting, like a tomato skin, if you have a really polished edge with only one angled stroke in it, it may push cut really well into a firm tomato skin, but it won't pull as well. It'll slide for a second before biting. By doing this back and forth motion, push, pull, it's changing the angles on those edges, and it cuts more effectively both way. This definitely isn't something that's in my head. It definitely is something that's probably of minor benefit, but it's absolutely real. So I do it. For you, you can do it just one direction if you really want to. But see the piece of burr come off there? I don't know if you can see it. There's actually a bunch of them. If I use the 500 stone, I'll use this stone basically to get rid of my burr completely before I switch to my other stone, to my main stone, my finishing stone, whatever you want to call it. Oh, there we go. I just pulled it off. I don't know if those pieces of burr are visible to you guys, and my phone's on a tripod and I'm not going to mess with it, but that one was about 1 inch long. I think it might be easier. There we go, there's some more. 1, 2, 3. I think it might be easier for me to just, since I'm definitely not able to keep track here of counting, is just do 1, 2. And what I'm doing is, as the burr's going away, I'm lightening my stroke. And the idea is to end up with no burr at all before I move on to the next stone, which is my finishing stone. And the finishing stone is capable of all of this on its own. It's capable of all of it on its own. But to be honest, this is a little bit faster. And that's kind of what I need for this video. So now this knife is already, even on a 1200 stone, this knife would be very effective in the kitchen. It's quite sharp. I can feel the edge quite well. So yeah, we're ready to switch to this. Actually clean, just to make bread from up on the windowsill. Has any bearing on this thing. So anyway, just saying 1, 2, 1, 2. And there is little bits coming off still, which I didn't quite do the 100, but that's okay. That I'm mostly just trying for the video. This actually Jen Phil's, I believe. It had broken in ship, and he sent it back, and I'm actually thinking about doing a pass around with just this stone, since you can see it was broken there. I fixed it. Be a good demo stone to send out if you're definitely sharp. And again, you could do this whole thing with just draw strokes. I don't feel like edges doing what I want to do. I'll switch to just draw